Hello everyone and welcome to another Halloween Season review. Today I am taking a look at and reviewing Paper Paranoia, a social hidden identity game. This is published by The Op Games, is for 4 to 8 players, ages 12 and up. So, how excited are you for this Paper Paranoia review? Are you excited? Yeah? Are you very excited? Maybe? Are you very, very excited? Okay, just very. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. I have to say, I am a huge fan of social hidden identity games, whether it is Werewolf, One Night Werewolf, whether it is Avalon, or Bang, or whatever it may be. And I'm also a huge fan of The Office. Watched it through many, many times. And so I was very excited to receive this copy. Thank you. Big thank you to the Op Games for providing this copy for review. Had lots of fun with this one. We'll show you some of the components, kind of the general concept of it. But if you are familiar with some of those hidden identity games, you're going to fall right into this one as well. And again, there's lots of nods to The Office, little funny little elements to the game that if you are unfamiliar with The Office, you would not really get it. However, if you are, know nothing about The Office, this is still a great hidden identity game as well. So let's dive right into it. Great cover. Dive right into the box here. I do wish that there was a little bit more like organizational. I appreciate the box, but basically I'm gonna just bag all these up separately. They've just kind of been thrown in here each time, and it's a little bit of a mess. So storage solution, I'm gonna be bagging up each of the decks individually, all the tokens and different things, but we have this. This will keep track of basically the game length. You're going to play through a number of weeks or rounds. And basically the premise of this game, so to kind of lay that out before I show you more of the components here. The premise of this game is, hey, we're going to be performing a series of tasks. We are going to be different interns assigned to different groups within Dunder Mifflin, whether that be accounting, sales, or customer service. And then from there, we will also be assigned a hidden loyalty card. So we have these loyalty cards. Depending on the number of players, you're going to shuffle these certain number of Osprey Paper Company cards into the mix. And then you would shuffle those and deal those out. Those will remain hidden for those individuals. They would take a look. They would know that they are loyal to Dunder Mifflin. If they are loyal to Dunder Mifflin, they are basically trying to have the missions succeed through the number of weeks, as well as get hired on as a full-time Dunder Mifflin employee. The Osprey folks are trying to secretly make sure that that doesn't happen, or that they become hired on as a full-time Dunder Mifflin employee at the end of those weeks. Kind of talk a little bit more about that, but that's the general gist of it. When a mission fails, you're going to get a strike. So of course the first strike is a demerit. 2 strikes is a citation. Then we get a violation, a written warning, and then the branch closed. So that's basically the premise of this. We're going to have some office supply cards that are going to be dealt to players, different items from the show, of course, with certain numbers on them. There's also, saw one of these sabotage cards that can kind of wreak havoc on those loyal to Dunder Mifflin. So we'll talk about that. But yeah, as far as the components, So we got the loyalty cards. You know, the cards in the game are good quality cards. They're not like the super deluxe linen finish, but they are good quality cards. They're gonna hold up. We have again the intern. We have basically they have some special abilities. Each of the 3 different types of groups or cards here. And from there, you may have multiple, but you're going to be performing missions, and certain people from those groups are often required to be part of that. So just a certain number of interns, but this one has to have someone from sales. This one has to have one from accounting and customer service, etc. So it gives you a special ability, but also is going to play into that. Who am I going to have try to make this mission be successful? There's also some reference cards here. Now there are only 4. I always find that kind of annoying. Again, the game is pretty straightforward, and you can share these, of course, but it is 4 to 8 players. And if you're teaching someone, you know, it's nice to have one for everybody, but that's all right. We got the board here. It's got just some nice like copy paper logos on there, but you'll actually utilize this in the game. Let's see, we got some more cardboard tokens, and we have, of course, the kind of mission cards. Just real fun. The backs here, really great. From the desk of Dwight K. Schrute, assistant to the regional manager. And so lots of fun. There are little stills from the show on some of these mission cards. So that's always fun as well, with little quotes and things from the movie, but lots and lots of nods to things. I'll talk about the reward cards and things like that. There's certain versions of that in here. Of course, you have the Schrute Buck, which you can turn in depending on how many you have for some cool abilities or things like that. We have second drink, Christmas bonus. We got free pretzel. So lots of fun things in the reward deck as well. We'll just kind of fan through some of the office supplies. Will make more sense. We got phone snacks. Got the stapler and Jello. We have the woof.com. Whenever, wherever merchandise. Copy paper. Again, there was a sabotage. And a lot of repeat cards here. Best Boss, you got the coffee mug there. So that's kind of what the office supplies look like. Of course, we have the chore wheel. The only thing that you won't find on it is chores, because, you know, it's just more fun that way. You have this. Basically, when you're successful in a mission, you get to spin this, and depending on where it lands, either all players are going to draw a reward, only the manager or the person who's kind of manager for that round or week draws a card. Manager chooses all team rewards. All team members draw a reward card, and then there's no reward as well. So we got that. That's always fun. We have these little tokens included as well to keep track of everyone's intern group. So basically this ability, you may treat a single Schrute Buck as if it were 2. So thematically, as an accounting intern, that's great. Once you have used it, you flip it over and you have no more abilities, but you will have that token in front of you reminding people, hey, I'm from accounting. So that will keep to, as those powers are used, these become useful as reference there. You got these little markers. So you got the Michael Scott declaring token. So this is him declaring the weeks here for us. We have, of course, the little Dwight K. Schrute bobblehead, which is fun. Keep track of, your demerits, your strikes here. You have the Dundee Award, your very own Dundee Award, which will keep track of, first player and that sort of thing. So as far as the gameplay, though, when you shuffle it in, it really comes down to you're going to have a certain number of missions that you're going through. What that basically looks like, we have Scrantonicity. So Kevin's band is hired for a local event. You're going to reveal all cards. If the added value equals 8 or more, you succeed. So what happens with this is we have 4 to 5 interns, and the person who's in charge for that round, the manager can choose who they want to send on this mission. They have to at least have one person from accounting and one person from customer service. Otherwise, they can choose whoever. And from there, everyone's going to choose a card from their hand to play face down secretly into the pile. And basically, as those are revealed, you're going to add up those numbers. If there's any sort of sabotage, you'll immediately resolve that before moving on. Sometimes it makes this immediately fail. Sometimes it makes the manager lose a card. But everyone's going to choose a card, put it face down. Then there's the Ryan as an intern gets in here. And depending on the missions and rewards and different things, usually what happens is you also add one card from the top of the office supply deck into the deck. Those will be shuffled and then revealed one at a time. So that gives a little bit of unknown and a little bit of deniability, a little bit of, oh no, we could have had someone from Osprey here, like a traitor, if you will, in the midst, or maybe it was just a card added from Ryan. But, if there's traitors who are trying to do different things, again, they could either outright try to sabotage it. They may not have the right cards. You may not have the right cards, and you're a Dunder Mifflin person. So there's a lot of, the discussion and gameplay, lying, bluffing, comes into play with that. And sometimes you can, with the reward cards and things, basically make it so that Ryan doesn't add a card. So maybe the individual, if it's a low number, maybe they were kind of banking on having a Ryan card in there, but you actually stop it from happening. That could give you some really good information. So there's a lot to the game and that hidden role element with choosing who to send on the missions. And then, your random deck of cards here, you may not have things that are very helpful. Maybe you have a bunch of these Ryan's merchandise cards and they're all zeros. So that's not going to add up to 8 or more. You can play a few different ways as far as the knowledge sharing, right? So you can basically make it so that you can't really communicate at all. You can make it so you can generally say, hey, I think I can help with this mission, or I don't really have any good cards right now. I wouldn't be a good one. So you can kind of generalize that way. Some of the missions are like real specific, looking for certain cards. So I kind of like more information. You can be like, hey, I have a phone card, and call it out that way. So you can just have to do it beforehand, have a discussion of what sort of conversation are you going to allow within the game. And it definitely kind of changes things up a bit. So it provides some variability or variety to the game as well. So I'll give you some more examples of what these missions are, but that's basically how it lays out. If you meet the thing, you are successful. For that first week, you're going to spin the wheel, right? And see, hopefully you guys get some reward cards. Reward cards, again, can help you skip. So if you think the head intern is a spy, if you will, from Osprey, maybe you want to skip their turn, right? Like, they've always failed the missions or whatever. You can search through the discard of the office supply deck as it goes through and retrieve card. You can secretly look. This one's really powerful. It costs 3 Shroot bucks. secretly look at any player's loyalty card. Each loyalty card may only be viewed once per game, so no one else is going to be able to look at it. Again, provides that bluff, double bluff. You know, you can look and be like, yep, we were right. That's the person, trying to really confirm that, hey, this is the spy, when in fact maybe you are. So very interesting element there. Second drink, respin the chore wheel, taking only the second result. You get an intern power back. You may look at the Ryan's card before it's added. So some things that can help you discover. Do push-ups to impress Kelly. Ryan is busy, does not draw any cards during this task. So again, things that kind of change the game up, help both people out, whether you're spies or otherwise. And it's just really fun. I took this to work. We played it during lunchtime. Had a blast. Lots of fun. Again, people there not very familiar with The Office. Didn't get a lot of the inside jokes or some of the things, but they still had lots of fun. So just give you some examples of some more kind of missions. So we have conference room, 5 minutes. This meeting looks like it's going to be a while. Help Pam keep Jim from dying of boredom. Reveal all cards. So again, you're going to have a certain number of cards. If you're playing with like less players, right? Which I think, I don't know what some of them you're going to remove, right? So like if you're playing with 4 or 5 people, you obviously don't have 6 interns to send, right? So you will have to sort through some of these. There's not a ton, but pull some of those out for the player counts. But 4 or 5 interns, you're going to reveal all the cards. If there are 2 coffees and 2 paper, you succeed. That's all you need. And again, there's different quotes and things from the movie. Won't spoil them all. We'll just give you some examples. So in this one here, 5 interns, but you're going to only reveal 2 of them, right? So those will be shuffled up, likely with another Ryan card. So you have 6 cards and you're only drawn 2. If at least one of them is paper, you succeed. So you're trying to get that with the paper airplane contest. Michael Scott's Dunder Mifflin, Scranton Meredith, Palmer Memorial Celebrity Rabies Awareness Pro Am Fun Run Race for the Cure. So this one, Michael started the fun run but forgot to set up the finish line. Quick, throw something together before someone reaches it. You're going to reveal all cards from 5. If there are party supplies and paper, you succeed. So all cards, if there's no party supplies and no snacks, you succeed. Boom, roasted. Reveal all cards. If at least 4 cards have a value of exactly 1, you succeed. Toby needs help. So as you can see, it varies a little bit of how many cards you reveal, what it's looking for. Maybe sometimes it's a number, sometimes it's a specific type of card that it's looking for. And so again, if you make it through all the weeks, maybe you've had some strikes as well, some failures. If you're able to get to the end, basically there's going to be that discussion, right, of, okay, who do we think the spy is? We want to make sure that we only hire loyal Dunder Mifflin employees. If they're able to get kind of in that final round, and that's where some of the reward cards can be very important too, to like skip ahead intern, right? When it comes close to the end there. But deciding that if they're able to sneak in there and they're chosen at the end of the game, then they could still win. Or if they get the branch closed, they still win. Otherwise, all the loyal Dunder Mifflin employees win. So that is Paper Paranoia. Lots and lots of fun. We had good laughs. I love all the nods. They did a great job with this. I mean, if you would have someone told me without me discovering this, that there was a social hidden identity game that is Office themed, I would be like, how would that work? But it actually works really well, the theming of it all. And it's silly, but you know, if you like social hidden identity games and like The Office, I think it's a no-brainer. I think it's lots of fun. And if you aren't a fan of social hidden identity games or The Office, you know, maybe take you some pause there. But again, if you're not familiar with The Office or play with people who aren't familiar with The Office, the mechanics and things, very simple, still lots of fun with it. So anyway, lots of fun. Paper Paranoia, that is how Lou sees it. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.